All right, if anyone's hopping into the Twitter space and you're in Discord, you're probably wasting bandwidth. You only need to be in Discord right now, but that's okay. And I will do my best to try and relay what's happening in the video space on Discord so you can hear it in Twitter. So let's get started. I will go ahead and record here. So I've had one of our sound techs and engineers help me out today, so hopefully everything goes well. So we're live. Welcome everybody to the big AMA. I'm Kaori Hiro, the project manager of MASQ project, MASQ Network. And we're here live on Twitter Spaces. We're here live on Discord. I've got the video stream on Discord. We got a really cool overlay. You can see the avatar, the spectralizer, and I'm going to give you some awesome amazing visuals today to see. So if you're on Twitter Spaces, we're not leaving you out. You is popular vote to host the AMA there, but please, if you want to, if you're not driving, be safe. Hop over to our Discord. It's discord.gg/MASQ, and you can hop into the video chat and check out what we're doing today and see some amazing stuff. So yeah, it's been a crazy last 12 months. I mean, I have to start out by thanking every single person in the team and every single person in the community, because we have built something that is absolutely revolutionary, absolutely amazing, and it's actually more than what we actually dreamed that it would be about a year ago. I was having some design meetings, I was having some brainstorm sessions, and I said to some of the team, man, I would just love to have a browser within our software. Like, how awesome would that be? You know, maybe we need to do this, maybe we need to do that. A year later, we did it, and it just blows my mind to see this. So anyone who was in the whale tank yesterday that got to hear me do the pitch, I have more than a minute, which is great today. I've got more than a minute to showcase everything and show everyone here how amazing the software is and what we've done. And hopefully you guys saw that pitch go well. We actually won. Shout out to the other teams that were in that. But if any of the whales are listening from the whale tank, please feel free to jump in, ask us some questions. We'll try and go with some live questions too today. But this will show you what I pitched in under 60 seconds. This is going to show you the full thing. So enjoy. But it's been a hell of a journey. And with the initial beta that we envisioned, the initial Gemini software itself, first we were all just thinking about Node, which is the core software, how to make it work, how to make sure it routes properly, how to make, you know, the nodes connect and the blockchain component work. And we had to keep getting back into the user experience. So thank the crypto gods that we have Sui UX as the design lead. He's an absolutely exceptional human being. He's made this beautiful software for all of us to enjoy with the core focus on user experience. So you might have heard that yesterday. I did the pitch to the whales. I said this, that, did it in 60 seconds. And one of their questions was really good. It said, well, how are you going to ensure that you can get user adoption? Because there's other competitors in the space. Some people say they care about privacy, but not really. And when it comes to it, and it all comes down to user experience. And without the users, we're nothing. Without the network with users in it, the network's nothing. So that's what you'll see today. So the big news today, all of you guys who are tuned in, the big news is we are formally starting the test phases, which means very soon, very, very soon, I don't even know, it could be sooner than I even think, we will actually be able to release this to certain levels of the public. Now, those of you who don't know, we have test phases going on. The first test phase is our team, and that's about 30 of our core team, the devs, the volunteers. We're all going to be going through testing this very, very rigorously, making sure it works, making sure we actually know, hey, you know, this is going to be working for us, and making sure that it's ready for those of you coming into the public. So I'm just going to show this. Screen here. See if I can get this going. No, it doesn't want to work. Okay. And we will be basically rolling out the test phase 1. So test phase 1, again, is just the teams. Test phase 2 We're hoping it'll come in under 2 weeks. We don't like to give deadlines, but I'll throw that out there. I know some of the team and the devs team might shoot me for that, but we're hoping it'll be that quick with some iterations of what we're going to show and what we're going to do. And that means that the Genesis NFT holders, you guys and girls, are going to be able to test that. And that's about 50 of you. One lucky person today listening with the best question is going to be able to get one of these NFTs airdropped to them. We'll get in touch with you after the AMA. You will be included in the next one, okay? So I'm just trying to share this screen. So those of you on Twitter Spaces, you're not missing out on too much yet. I'm trying to show the test phases image on here, just to remind everybody. Go to captures. Here we go. Yeah, I've got my got the engineer on here. Let's go static. No, it doesn't like that. All right, it doesn't like what I'm doing. That's fine. All right, so with the test phase 2, okay, we know test phase 1, we know test phase 2. Test phase 3, that's going to be where it gets crazy. It's going to get wild. This is early access. This is people who have subscribed. We will weight it to be the earliest subscribers, so our most OGs will have a higher chance of being selected. And at the moment, we're whitelisting 100 users. That could change, depends on how things go. And then we're going to whitelist those 100 people to invite. And of course, everyone in previous phases will continue to be testing with the other people. So at that point, we'll have close to 200. I'm dropping the test phase image in the AMA chat just in case people can't see it on screen. So that's test phase 1, test phase 2, test phase 3. After that, you got test phase 4, which is an even greater group, and that will be up to 250 more. And then we may even scale it out even more in that count. And then for invitations, that's test phase 5. This is where we're going. We're very confident with everything. We probably have some new features by then. We're going to headhunt private testers. We're going to headhunt influencers. We're going to get project leaders from other projects that like what we do. We're going to walk them through and get them going. Got someone shouting out? Who's it?
There we go. Okay, there.
Macca.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I was on a roll, but if you're in Twitter Spaces,
this has been one of those weeks where I've just been like insanely busy, but I'm embracing it. You know, it's not even a complaint. And I'm not even like burnt out. I'm actually like, I'm in a good spot. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm busy. So it is what it is. Got a lot of things going on.
Smashing. You're smashing, mate.
Yeah. No, not at all. How are you doing?
Oh.
I'm doing well. I'm busy myself, actually. You know,
we've got some overlay here. Hold on.
Things all day long.
I'm gonna have to mute you, buddy. I don't know what he's up to. We're gonna kick this guy. I don't know if that was our marketing lead. I think he was trying to come in and chat to someone in the wrong channel. So let's get going. Let's get moving. AMA. What we're gonna do today is a little different. Okay, I'm gonna live stream the Gemini software. So those on Twitter Spaces, I'm sorry, you guys might be missing out on the visuals, but I'll try and walk through it as best I can on audio. And I'm going to stop at different places in the software, open up questions to all of you in the AMA, and you can talk about what you like on the screen. You can talk to me about what you feel is amazing. You can ask about things that you see. And you guys just let me know what you like. So Jay, I think what's happened is this thing has taken captures out of my render screen. Here we go. All right. Can everyone see the overlay on the screen share? Nice. Okay, chicken. You know, we gotta love us some chicken. Uncooked, because chicken, we need to save chickens. I'm gonna take out that title here. All right. Boom. Okay, we got the screen capture on. Now, this, you've all seen some of this, but what's exciting is this is the, I guess we could call it like V2.5. This is the refined UI. This is the software that's been tweaked. It's polished. It's got some animations. It's got some, hey, listen close. You might actually hear some sound effects. And I'm going to go through it. This is like brand new user sitting on here on the software. One of the phase 1 testers, they'll be installing this on their computer. They'll be running through this, and this is what they're going to see. So of course you got your nice info screens. Ignore my avatar in the bottom left. We're going to educate people a little more with these screens as they go through, because some people may have never heard of MASQ. They just want to try us out, and they're seeing the software for the first time. We're setting you up in 3 steps: wallet and password, connect to the blockchain for earning and spending if you want to be a server, and connect to the MASQ mesh network. So first things first, we get to choose the chain. I'm going to stick to Polygon Mumbai because that's where our testnet is. Our test tokens are living here, but very soon we'll be scaling into mainnet. So those who are clever, who are very clever, might be monitoring the blockchain and seeing when they see some small transactions coming in a flurry on our token contract. That might be a hint of us having some live mainnet traffic, but it still works all the same. We've got a brand new test token with a limited supply that we're going to use because we want to keep it secure and also let us scale this testing. So that's pretty amazing. So we'll test, we'll connect to this. And before I go open for questions, we've got the next step, which is connect to the Polygon blockchain. Now I'm going to throw a little bit of alpha in there. There's a project out there that is doing something very unique in the space. They're doing what we call an RPC, decentralized aggregator type of solution. Because right now, when anyone uses MetaMask, when anyone uses various providers on the blockchain, you're actually connecting to an endpoint of a server who's hosting like a blockchain reference node. So that could be a point of failure. We want to give choices to our users. So right now, you can choose Mumbai Testnet, which is the official one, or ChainStack Labs, which is a third-party provider, but they're very reliable. You will not need to sign up for these, but if you have a premium or freemium account, later you can use that. We're going to choose the recommended default one, and we're going to connect to the blockchain. So this means I have a positive connection to the blockchain, and MASQ is the first step is complete. So I'll stop here. I'll open up for questions. What does everyone think right now? Anyone want to jump in and ask anything? Twitter Spaces, we've been viewing the software. It's pretty polished. It's looking nice. It's on point. Dr. Papineau, a common problem with using Tor node is that deciding which hops before the exit's not possible. Is there a way to do that, to choose location for each hop? Very good question. I know it might not be about the screens we've just showed, but I will answer it real quick. Right now, you cannot choose the route. You cannot choose the location. That is something we've designed, though, as a feature where we, and someone actually asked in the general chat earlier, can I choose exit node location, for example? So we're looking at a way to do that where the network or the nodes in the network don't have to be aware of every location of every node, because that will require an IP address map of every node. So that is a fundamental weakness of Tor, is that all the public exit nodes are in a list. So if they're in a public list, guess who else can see them? Government watchdogs who want to monitor it, ISPs who want to censor them. So it actually becomes a lot easier to attack the network or censor the network if all the exit nodes are known. With MASQ, because we're building it in a different way, those won't be possible ways to monitor the network. You're not going to know where people are, and you're not going to know the IP of everyone. You're only going to know IPs of your neighborhood intimately, like your node will. And then as you're using traffic, the servers you visit, they know obviously who's connecting to them. So at the moment, we can't offer that. We don't offer that as a feature. But yeah, we'll talk about neighborhoods too. Any other questions on this screen? We've just connected into the testnet. We've added the blockchain service URL endpoint and a little alpha there. We're going to be engaging in talks with maybe some other cool options here too. Good question from NCX. He's actually an OG. As we go to the next screen, I'll answer that. Have we had alpha testers helping? And what are we hoping to achieve by 2022 in terms of network growth? How's the CLI server looking? There was a rough compile previously. So great question. Alpha testers have been key. It's been a lot of things going on under the hood, but the reason we're formally, this is why today's news is so amazing. We've had a year of alpha testing, core development, UI polishing, design, wireframing, all the way to now to get to this point. So now the reason it's announced that we're in test phase 1 we're so happy that it's in a state where we can get new people who don't know anything about the tech to try it. So we've actually got a pipeline set up, which is running installers from GitHub. So the minute this is going to allow quick improvements and iterations from the software, the UI side, the graphical user interface. We have pipelines set up. So the minute Sui UX and his awesome dev team put in a new fix or polish it, maybe put animations in, put another feature in, whatever, we will have compiled installers for people to use. And the next step beyond that, which is something we want to build in with some infrastructure, is on over-the-air updates, so OTA updates. Most of you who are using sort of more mainstream apps, you'll notice, including Discord, that there's a button in there that says update available, and you click it, and it will update. So we kind of want to get to that point where once people start publicly downloading this, that if there's an update to our core or an update to our Gemini software, that it goes over the air into your machine. You won't have to reinstall with files and stuff. So that's a pretty cool thing. So the alpha tester question, yeah, I've answered that. And what are we hoping to achieve by 2022? Well, I could talk a really long time about that, but let's just say it's the year of MASQ. I'll leave you with that because everything is there for us to build this network now. Pretty much everything that we had as a stumbling block is now addressed. And then for our technical people with the CLI server, we're redoing the docs. We're redoing the instructions on our Git book. So people will be able to run cloud nodes by the thousands if you want. But one more step beyond that is we want to get this to be a service where it's almost a scripted service. 2 clicks, you're done. If I have an account with AWS, I run a script, my node is up, all I'm doing is putting in my whatever variables that I wanted to set, my wallet address, the network I want to join, and maybe the neighbor I want to connect to enter the network, and then you're good. Sort of like one click wonder. Don't worry, like if that's your nickname, you can improve on that this year too. But the year 2022, this is MASQ's year. So let's get back to this UI screen. I'm glad you're willing to help MCX, and I'm sure there's loads of other people who want to get involved. If you're not in test phase 2 because you're not a Genesis NFT holder, stay tuned on all our channels. We will be doing some promos to give out a few more whitelist spots, as well as a winner today. So the next screen is we're setting up a password. And this is what's really, really cool and really exciting today. If you've missed some of our updates, if you've missed some of our behind the MASQ, development roll-ups that I've written and stuff, it's been a little while since I wrote one, so I'm giving you all the alpha and the update today. If you can't see it because you're on Twitter Spaces, I'm on a screen now where you can choose your wallet. Now, you can create a set of wallets, and for those people who are really privacy-centric, you really want all the options in front of you to make this the most secure experience you would like, you can go to this third option at the bottom, which is create a new Ethereum wallet for MASQ. And that means you're going to generate brand new wallets with a seed phrase of 6 words, which conveniently is the same 12 words that you'll need to put into MetaMask, which I'll show you. Or you can do the convenient route, and a lot of us like convenience, right? I will be able to import my MetaMask wallet I want to use. Maybe I already hold MASQ in a wallet on Polygon, and I click the first option, which is import MetaMask, and I am inputting my private key because I have to have the private key in Node, but it's stored encrypted. It's only stored locally. It's not transmitted ever across the network, but it is required for you to send payments to your neighbor nodes, or else you will be banned on the network. So it's all about, it's like your power bill at home or internet bill at home. You don't pay, you don't get the surf, you don't get power, you don't get internet. So it's the same on the MASQ network. It's secured by monetization. You need to pay your bills. So that's the only reason that's stored. So you can actually navigate and route on the network, get surfing, get browsing. So I'm going, for this demo, I'm going to choose a new wallet. And it's going to show me a set of seed words. I'm going to save these. And we're going to make this a little bit more user-friendly with a few tweaks later on. But at the moment, it's asking me to input them again to make sure I've written them down, which is very important. You don't want to lose this wallet because then you'll have to reset all again. But again, I've gone through the option of doing the most secure way, which is creating a fresh wallet from scratch. There's nothing in it. And I obviously will have to, once I start on the network, I'll have to transfer some MASQ and MATIC over to it. And it will show on screen if you've got a balance. Now, right now I'm just doing a test. I've generated a new wallet. You won't see any balances in here, but this will show up on the dashboard. So cool, I've done step 2. Wallets are complete. Now, we had a little step that skipped there because I twiddled with this earlier before I did the live stream. So I will share a screen capture of that later. But what it asked me, and apologies it didn't show up, what it asked me was, do you want to be a server? Now that part's important, and I'll just talk a little bit more and then we'll take some questions. Some people on the network just want to join MASQ and get the privacy features, right? Maybe you just want to browse privately and you want to pay a little bit of MASQ, a couple MASQ a week, and as just a random amount, and get some enhanced privacy. You don't want to use a VPN anymore. That's great. You don't have to be a server. You also might be in a place where your residential internet connection, where you live, or your house Wi-Fi, or you have a shared Wi-Fi where you actually can't access the router, so there's no way you can make sure it opens correctly for you to be a server. You just can't serve. That's okay. We want you to be able to use the software because we need those users on the network. We need the demand side. We want the privacy-seeking feature people to be part of the network. So you don't have to serve. For those who want to serve, it's going to show you roughly what your upload speed is and whether your speed is appropriate to be recommended to serve. And then you can click, yep, I want to be a server. And that will mean you're serving and consuming on the network. So you will both have an opportunity to earn MASQ. And as you surf, you will be spending MASQ. Any questions on the wallet screen on how to set serving and consuming? Any questions about how to be part of the network? Someone mentioned the truckers in Canada could really use MASQ now, so they can't track. I can't really comment on that. I mean, this is a privacy tool, so it can help with surfing. But anything else regarding that, it's it'd be hard to see like how it would help that situation. But it's definitely, what that's showing is there's a very big movement in the world of people wanting to know how they can be private online, how they can take control of their personal information, and how they can basically live where they control their privacy online. It's all about online freedom. And thanks, Jay, for pinging me on this question. Will Gemini have a setting for MASQ bandwidth available during serving mode to limit the bandwidth? That's a really good idea, really good question. It's actually come up in some of our design chats. And some solutions out there I know can have a feature to toggle that. We're going to look at ways to do it. Right now, the way MASQ is working is it's serving based on your incoming connections through HTTP. So basically, you need to somehow throttle that. And we've done some horizon planning, so I'll be openly and honest and transparent. We haven't fully designed how that would work, but it is a feature that users desire. So what's really important from all of you listening and all of you early users in testing phase 1 and testing phase 2, if you have features that you really, really, really think are important, you need to make your voices heard. You need to put that out there, but back it up, say why you think it's important for user experience. You can see our design lead, Sue UX, just jumped in there too in the Discord chat. His comment is, to be honest, most people will probably not want to limit their bandwidth because they want to choose to get serving more. Like they want to have their bandwidth available so they get more traffic and not have competition with their neighbors. Probably a good idea, and that's a good point. Someone who wants to serve, they may want to capture as much serving traffic as they can. So that's pretty important too. Another good question. So when in serving mode, upload speed is more important than download speed. Yes, that is correct. And your uptime. I would say your uptime is important. You want to make sure you don't have a lot of ups and downs, disconnecting, reconnecting, lag, those types of things. You want to make sure it's going to be up online with a quality connection. So all the networks that are querying to route through you are going to be able to get a response. And one more question I'll take now. And chicken, couldn't someone circumvent a ban on the network by creating a new wallet? I suppose you could, but the nodes that ban you will be basing this on your hashed node descriptor. So eventually, if you keep doing that, they'll know, nodes will know, quote unquote, know that it's sort of the same user doing different wallets, and they'll start sort of restricting your connections. So there's ways to mitigate that attack. And so we've done a lot of research on that. Actually, I'll take this question too before I move on. From Skull, have there been any testings for Starlink? Now, I don't know. I thought it was funny if you noticed recently, Elon lost 40 of his Starlink satellites from an EMP surge in the atmosphere or outside Earth, and that was I don't know if that set him back quite a bit. We've had some users say, look, they'd love to run it on Starlink. Personally, I haven't spoken to any testers yet, and maybe that will come with these test phases. I haven't spoken to anyone who has Starlink that wants to test it, but to be quite honest, I have no reason to believe it would not work beautifully just like any other connection, because basically you're just getting your internet from an ISP, but it's just delivered via a satellite dish. So I don't think it would be any different. But this is a relevant question too, and I'll go on this right now. From MCX, what is the magic on choosing a node? So good question. I have to thank Einsteiniac, one of our cloud guys. He does amazing work. He's also helped with the installer scripts and with a lot of the cloud infra that is just blows my mind when he shows me stuff that he's built and helped with the dev team, and all the devs have worked together on it. But we've built an API, and what it will do is allow cloud users, and we'll start firstly with some that we host as a team in AWS to help bootstrap the network. It'll add the node ID into an API script. So if users click this top option, this one here, it will query the API for a node neighbor, and it will deliver that to the user with one click, meaning you can enter the network with one click. What I'll show you today is I'm going to join the network with a manual node ID. I'm going to grab one from one of our testers. And Scyther is the man at the moment. Scyther and Unfanger, these guys are testers. They've been alpha testers you guys asked about. They've been alpha testers for a long time, helping us months. And without them, we wouldn't be here. So thank you for all your guys' help. So let me get back to my stream. Now, those of you on Twitter Spaces, we haven't forgot about you. We are joining the network with a node ID, and this is a cloud node ID. So someone's running this in AWS for us. It's pinging the network. It's going to join the cloud neighbor that I put in, and it's also checked that my port is available for it to serve. And now everyone's seeing a really exciting screen. And this this has taken a year to publicly showcase that I'm running MASQ live on my computer to all of you in the world watching this through the MASQ network. I am joined to the MASQ network on Mumbai. That is pretty awesome. If you're not jumping out of your seat, cracking a beer, sculling a bottle of wine, I don't know if you're dead to the world of crypto, but this is going to disrupt 2022. Mark my words. So what are we seeing now? Well, I am showing the dashboard here. Twitter Spaces, we are showing a globe with a 3D overlay of the node network. Now, this isn't reactive. So it's not showing exactly where I am in the world. We may develop that as like a little nice visual, but it's showing a visual like that allows the user to understand we're hopping 3 hops to get content. So if you haven't seen this dashboard before, you haven't seen our demos, you should be very excited. I'll actually stop here and let the people who are listening and watching, really take it in. But this is what you see when you first connect. Please don't take note of the numbers. They're completely fake, arbitrary on the dashboard tab on the right with the consuming and serving windows. These are fake, okay? They're not real numbers. They're just placeholders for us to connect in, which we will do pretty much. Well, I think it's already done. I didn't get the newest build this morning. But what we wanted users to achieve with the dashboard is we want you all to see what your consumption's like. If you've got, say, 20 MASQ tokens, how much data roughly can you do? So we've put some little rough average metrics here that say, well, look, I've got 20 MASQ tokens. I can roughly download this many gigabytes of data. I want to listen to Spotify. I want to listen to some music. I've got about 10 hours of streaming time for audio. I want to watch some 1080 HD videos. I've got this many minutes of videos. So you've got your consuming tab here, and it's also going to remind you if you are just hogging that MASQ networks data, you're like surfing every day, all day on this thing, and you will once I show you the dApp store and the browser. It's going to tell you, hey, you're running low on MASQ, man, you better top up. Better get that juicy MASQ off quick swap over on Polygon because you're running out of tokens. But it's also going to let you know too how much you're earning. If you're a server, you can offset or maybe exceed how much you're using as a user on the network. So let's go to the serving tab. And sorry, my computer, if you notice any delays, it could possibly just be my computer because I've got multiple windows open and I'm streaming and recording at the same time. So what you've got here is the serving tab. This tab is going to tell you how much you've earned. And we're working on connecting that up into the core software of Node to get some live stats from your earning potential. So what you see here, and for those on Twitter Space, you're seeing pending earnings, so how much people are yet to send you as serving. We're showing you this is a fake DNS, what do you call it? IP address, but it's going to show the choice you made when you chose to be a server. It's going to show you who you chose as a serving DNS provider. A lot of people may choose Cloudflare because they want it to be family oriented. They don't want someone else to use their node as an exit node for, let's just say, questionable content or stuff that is definitely illegal and they don't like being part of it. You don't, obviously no one does, but you want to control that. This is going to show you what your choice was. It's also going to show the current port that is open if you did serve. We have an automap function that's built in. We've done some testing with automap. It's let people use different routers so we can see whose routers work automatically, whose don't. But it's showing what port you're opened with. And also it's going to show your node ID. So I can copy and paste that. And I might just do that right now as an example. This is the node ID I connected to. It's not private or anonymous because it's a cloud node and our testers run it. This is on AWS, but I can share this with a neighbor. I can say, hey, or our friend, hey, join this. You can get into the network with this ID. I see a lot of people saying, man, remember Netscape in the chat. It's pretty funny thinking back to those days. And I might have gotten a message from our, oh, it does. See, haha. Our design lead didn't realize. So it works. So we've got serving consuming tabs. I feel like I'm blathering on. So what I want to do is stop again before I'm too excited. I've had too much coffee this morning. Does anyone want to comment, question, scream and yell in their seat, show how much their mind is blown now, looking at this live stream of the demo? Anyone want to ask any questions? Chicken's got a heck of a lot, man. Oh, I don't think I'm prepared for this. Nah, he's got a lot. Some of these I will answer throughout the demo. So I'm just I'll just run through. He put 10 questions in here. Let's see. Yep, I will answer some of these soon as we progress. So what I want to show you is the rest of this demo here. So we're on the dashboard. It's beautiful. It's lovely. This is where you guys can check your stats. There's a Dino bar, I think Sui UX called it, where you see your token balances in the top right. You see a lock app. Let's say you want to walk away from your computer. You don't necessarily want to keep this open because it's got your wallet info and stuff. You've got a lock button. You click that. You have to put your password in to reopen it. Boom. So this is just one of the main, I guess, unique selling points of what we've achieved. This is one of three. I think we kind of like to do things in three. We've kind of had this little triad of things going on all through our last couple of years, but this is the first. Now let's go quickly to the wallet stream, where I'm just going to go over this very briefly because it's something we can showcase a little more later as it gets developed. But this is going to show you your balances. It's also going to show you when you're on mainnet, it's going to show you your ETH side of your wallet, which we've purposely grayed out as an option. We don't really know anyone crazy enough to try and run this on ETH because of the gas fees right now. The reason we scale on Polygon is purely because of gas fees, purely because it is going to scale this for allowing it to be affordable and let the mesh network operate to the fullest extent, the biggest scaling opportunity. So you'll be able to sit here, you'll be able to buy the token with one click to different sources. You can use this to help transfer wallets later with the bridge page, and also look at transaction history, pulling that up in a tab. So that's another part of basically the dashboard where you might live a little bit to check stuff. But let's go to the next bit, all right? Let's go to the next amazing part, the amazing USP, unique selling point of our Gemini software, the DApp directory. Now, if you don't think this is important, please listen closely. MASQ browser, MASQ privacy software, is now a gateway to the private world of crypto, the metaverse, and the internet. So we see ourselves as a privacy gateway to almost anything you would want to look at online. If you want to go on YouTube and stream endless content because you can't get stuff in your country, great. This is your gateway. You want to get into the metaverse and you want to keep your personal identity in real life completely separate, completely private to your metaverse avatar and a personality that you've prided yourself in building. Maybe you've got an amazing NFT, a Bored Apes Yacht Club that you spent 100 ETH on, but you don't want anyone to know who you are in real life. You're just this awesome looking ape that's like a status symbol. You can do that and not have to worry that anything's going to leak online. Or let's say you want to use crypto, because a lot of our first users are going to be crypto oriented, right? I want to go online. I want to hop to any exchange. I want to go to MASQ, and I want to trade with privacy in the blockchain too. I don't want people to front run me. I don't want bots to sandwich me and steal some of my stuff. I'm going to use MASQ, but my IP is going to be obfuscated, so no one in my house, no one in my ISP office, and no one in my country really is going to know that I'm on crypto sites. This is about freedom. So I can hop to MASQ. Let's say I want to hop into the metaverse and go into, let's say, OpenSea. I want to buy some stuff. Yeah, I've been told not to swear, but I'm excited, everybody. Maybe this is the first time I've sworn online. But let's go to OpenSea. Actually, no, I had a little script here. I'm going off track. Let's stop and take some questions because I'm getting overly excited here. Any questions on the DApp store? Are other browsers able to work with MASQ? Oh, yeah, good question. Yes. We'll show you that we may not have the time to go into detail on it, but in general, yes, there will be a toggle, which I haven't shown you in detail, but it lets you subvert your entire screen, your entire machine to work over MASQ network. But you can also proxy the browser by yourself. It's not actually that hard. There's a lot of guides out there. We're going to try and build in a guide. But if you don't, I guess I should say it in a nice way. If you don't want to use the browser within MASQ, you're a bit crazy because you're using such an amazing piece of software. But I know a lot of people are conveniently used to their own browser. They like their default settings. They've got all their bookmarks in there. They've got extensions they like, this, that, and the other. We're going to try and convert you to a MASQ browser user. That's cool. Like, be aware, we're going to keep converting you. But if you want to do that, that's fine. You can proxy your HTTP and HTTPS traffic across the MASQ network with a few simple settings in your system, and what you use your browser for will go across MASQ if you set it up correctly. Any other questions? They're saying the chat moves fast. Well, I'll try and keep an eye on it, but we're on a roll. Who here loves this DApp store, the DApp directory? Stu does. Well, we've given a lot of love to our amazing friends over at Alchemist. They've got an ecosystem of dApps, so I might as well give them a plug. They're privacy-based, fair-based, freedom-based, and open, generally open to everybody. So they love helping us because they were pretty important in helping throughout our growth as a project. They did a lot of really nice things for us. So we've actually put them as a feature here. What we're going to try and work on with this DApp directory is that we want to make this a Web3 gateway, like I said. If you know of a DApp that is important to the Web3 ecosystem, we're going to go after those first. If you have an extremely strong case for them to be featured in our software, we want to hear from you. But most importantly, we want the projects themselves to start reaching out and building connections and get them, to say, hey, we love what you're doing, and have it as a cross promotion. So we're happy to, showcase people. We're happy to help them grow, make them, a big part of the Web3. All we ask in return is that you spread the good word of MASQ and you share our technology with the users that you have in your community, because together, everyone should know my hashtag now. Team F, right? What does Team F stand for? I might give a spot prize if someone can drop this in the chat here. No, it doesn't stand for the F word. Together, everyone achieves more freedom. And that's what we're about. So, I've shown this on the screen. This is just a short whitelist of where we've gone with some featured dApps, some adding them in. A lot of these are typical ones that everyone sort of is familiar with in the crypto space. These are places that people go all the time. What we want to do is we want to also give you an option to bookmark or favorite these. So I'm going to favorite Polygon Scan because right now I'm a Polygon convert. I'm sick of gas fees on ETH. So you know what? I'm going to be living on Polygon for a while. And that's why we have QuickSwap as a pool for users to get it, to get into MASQ, to get involved with using the software, to get that utility token, to use it, right? And we want it to be as cheap as possible for you. So I've just favorite cons Polygon Scan. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to hop onto Polygon Scan. And this is the browser experience. So I think everyone's a bit speechless from the dApp directory. I've gone into a browser tab with click. So you can meme away, put a GIF wall up of exploding heads. You have a browsing experience within Gemini itself. All you guys hanging on Twitter Space, I hope you haven't missed out on the opportunity to hop over into Discord. But I'm showing a browser tab, which is a very clean, very polished Chromium instance within Electron. It's actually shipped with Electron, so there's no bloatware involved. We've stripped out any extra stuff, which sometimes goes in there that you don't need, but without the expense of anything else. So we've packaged in a button to clear your cache. We've got a privacy ad blocker. I'll hop into the settings really quick. This is a beautiful, simple screen where you can do very simple things for your browser. You can clear your cookies with one click. You might want to clear your history. Galactic, this is going to be really handy for you with the misses in case, you get onto those 4-letter websites. You can clear your cache if you don't want any data to stay from visiting things. And you can block ads. So if you like going to Food Hub, yeah, you like food, and you don't want people to know you're into some stuff. Don't talk about KFC because we got chicken online. But blocking ads and trackers, this is very important. This is on by default. If you like trackers and ads, you can turn it off. But we're also doing this for another reason. Sui UX and I chatted about this before when he was building in this little mini feature. We don't want you to waste precious MASQ on ads and banners. And guess what? A lot of banners start playing a freaking video and you're wasting all your bandwidth and data on downloading something that you want to mute and turn off anyway, right? So this is going to save you all consuming cost as well. Let's get back into the browser. Polygon Scan. Okay, I'm going to live on here if I want to look stuff. Don't waste MASQ on ads. You're welcome. Let's go back to the dApp screen. So I'm going to go into the dApp directory again. And I want to go pick me up some of that sweet MASQ. So I'm going to go to QuickSwap. Now, how do I interact with dApp sites these days, everybody? And sorry, the speed is suffering a little because I'm streaming. I'm going to have to go to a decentralized exchange most likely to get MASQ, which is fine because the utility token itself has to be offered somewhere decentralized. That's what we're about. So I'm going to go onto this decentralized exchange and I'm going to need to do something and interact with it. Well, guess what? We fixed that for you and put that in there to make it easy. I've got myself a MetaMask extension that's shipped with Gemini. So once I open MetaMask, it's going to ask me to set it up. Now, I've done this earlier to save time, but I have MetaMask in my browser, ready to go, hopping into my crypto favorites, and basically letting you get online. Now, the overlay of the MetaMask tab may not show on screen. Sorry about that. But what I'll do is I'll make sure you can see that it's connecting. It's because it's an overlay, I think. It's actually kind of like a privacy thing too, that if you're streaming, it doesn't let you overlay. But let me go ahead. I'm going to switch to Matic. Polygon, I should keep saying. I don't know why QuickSwap hasn't updated that. But it's asking me to approve the Polygon mainnet as an RPC endpoint. Yep, I'm switching my network. I'm hopped in there, and I'm connecting to MetaMask. Come on. Oh, it doesn't like my network. Hold on. There we go. Connect. Now I am live browse. So let this sink in, everybody, including those who are not able to see this beautiful user experience on Twitter Spaces. I have connected to the MASQ network. I am browsing through another node across the world. I'm on QuickSwap. I've connected my MetaMask, and I'm about to buy some MASQ utility tokens, all privacy-based with enhanced privacy routing, 3 hops, and I can do this without anyone tracking me. MQ is saying that he is really worried that the Minister of Treasury, what is there a daily? Oh, sorry, I thought you were trying to like joke around a bit. So I think it's a bit of a question. Is there a daily report where you can print off details about your earning and spending? That's actually a good idea. I would say for now you'd have to rely on the blockchain, and in Polygon Scan you can actually export transactions as a CSV file. But I would suggest, I was just about to say that, SUUX, make sure you use something that does the work for you. Coinly is great. This isn't a plug, but I actually use Coinly myself for Ethereum and Polygon addresses. And what that software does is it tracks incoming and outgoing tokens into your wallet if you put in a wallet address. So I would suggest if you've got concerns about that, or you want to, declare, we're not saying do something or not do something. It is your responsibility to take care of your reporting for any jurisdiction that you live in. If you want them, go to the single source of truth, which is going to be the blockchain. At this point in time, we'll be straight up. We're not building anything like that in to report these things for you. So you will have to rely on your own devices and your own tools. But they have been made much, much easier these days. So don't let that scare you off. There's a way to do it with some very, very simple online tools and software. Some of them are freemium, some of them are premium. There's lots out there. So ask around the community. There's loads of people that can help with some options and help you navigate that too. And you can choose, you can choose what you want to do. But I digress. This is like amazing. What you're seeing on screen is live through the MASQ network. I am definitely surfing through MASQ and showing everything live that I'm a MASQ user. I'm using MetaMask and I'm using QuickSwap, all privatized. So we'll stop here. I've been chatting for a little while. Is there any questions on the dApp store, on the browser tabs, on using this software to just look at their everyday sites? Give you a couple seconds before I go on to a few other cool things I wanted to talk about too. How is the MASQ fee for consumption decided, and does it help the network if I run several instances on, say, several devices? Very good question. So the first part I'll answer straight away, and I'll go back to the dashboard just to give you guys a new visual. Right now it's a fixed rate because what we're building in is a dynamic pricing mechanism. It's very, very difficult actually to do this in a way that satisfies all of our desires as developers and in the vision to make this decentralized, but also like a way of consensus through the network where people, or users can't attack the network by messing with pricing. So we want to make pricing dynamic, and we also want to make it based on a fiat value that someone is familiar with. So right now it's pegged, the consuming for testing at the moment is pegged to a certain amount of MASQ per gigabyte. We're fine-tuning that exact amount. This is why we're using test tokens. So we'll start giving out more information as we firm that up. But right now it's a global rate that everyone's using for consuming and serving. And once we make that more dynamic, what the end user will see is a way that they can let the market adjust the pricing for them. So they might say, well, I'm an average user. I just want to pay what the average is on the network. And you just have something that might be just a simple one-click option. It lets you choose it. And then as the market for MASQ changes, where MASQ might go up in value, go down in value, it'll keep your consumption rates and serving rates the same. And then we'll flesh out that function to allow servers to, be a bit more dynamic with that too. Maybe you're in a place like, for example, the USA, where a lot of people might want content in the US, right? A lot of people might love to go on Netflix and get US Netflix content or YouTube. You might be in a desirable area, so you might be able to adjust your serving rates higher because that users are desiring your content. You'll have higher traffic. So those types of things are all what we're building into monetization, and let people know they've got some choices. And so we've had a few requests here, which is awesome. I'll take that one from SUUX too. So over the nodes, we just want to show you what this is looking like with the visual. So the green node is actually you. And you've got 4, sometimes 5 neighbors that are connected to you directly. So this is actually a really important feature for those on Twitter Spaces. We'll show a few screenshots of this so you can see what we're looking at. But the visual showing a little neighborhood. This is what we call it in that circle. There's 4 nodes in a little neighborhood, which are all interconnected. Some of them might be connected to each other, but all 4 of these blue nodes are connected to you. And at the moment, or at the, as a security design, you only are intimately knowing that there's 4 nodes around you. You don't know anything beyond that except that other nodes exist. So this is providing levels of privacy in the form of neighborhoods that overlap each other. And so I'm only going to know the IP connections directly to 4 nodes, and they're the ones that are giving me the last hop of my traffic. Once you go out one layer in the mesh, you get to a relay node as well. This is similar to the way Tor operates, except they do 6 hops. We're doing 3 as a minimum at the moment, and that will be further designed for more features to allow clandestine at 6 hops, or maybe we've even started exploring horizon design planning on something less than 3 hops, which could allow peer-to-peer and things like that. The second hop is a relay. And again, you see how you're not directly connected to them with the green line or in your neighborhood. Your node yourself has no idea who or where as that second relay. Now, if we scroll or swing across the globe to this orange node, that is the exit node. That's the node that's connecting to where I want to go, getting the content from me, encrypted, never inspecting it, but getting it on my behalf, and they're sending it back through these hops back to me. So what you're seeing on screen is a mesh, and then there's a 3-hop route where it's going there and back. So I'm going from one neighbor to a further relay to an exit node and back. So that's pretty cool. That's the security design of how we work. It's how we've adopted and allowed the privacy we're getting, and also how you can hop across the world and get content that you want. But it's allowing no node itself to know everyone in the network, or else it's not as private. We had a second thing here. MCX, you want to ask a voice question? Sure, go ahead, mate. You're unmuted, so if you want to do a mic check.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Can you hear me as well?
Yes, I can hear you, mate.
Okay, thank you. It's been a while since I've done an AMA. It's fun to be back on an AMA. To tell you the truth, it was since the sub days. And that question also comes from those days. It was an early promise, of course, not kept. We're not going to get into those details. This is the past. We are talking about the future. It was a very nice idea, though, that we could use at some point the nodes, and this is maybe a very future request, as places where we can do something like Cloudflare and do a CDN. Is this at all at the roadmap for the future?
Yeah, good question. So what you're referring to is sort of having a way where nodes can sort of host partially content, maybe data sharding, having a way to serve it within the network as a content delivery, right? That is sort of what you mean?
Yep, exactly. A CDN of sorts. It was an early idea. It was
Yeah.
very, very interesting because you bring usability to a node. You can use some storage on the node. You can use some stuff that is not used during the day or during the night. It depends.
Right.
And it could be another source of income for MASQ token holders, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've done a lot of chat about that actually in the last 30 days because we want some further features that will give people the utility within the network. So not only get all the privacy features that they want, but also get a little bit more of network utility in a way. So relying on the infrastructure that we all have now as a mesh network. So thanks for your question. That's really, really great. What that brings up is some partnership opportunities, or maybe just informal integrations of other technology out there. We have ways that we're looking at it. There are some open source solutions. We're looking at ways to build it where we're not relying so much on a third party, because every time you outsource reliance onto something else, like another layer or another project or another piece of technology, it can become harder to work with and harder to hard code, I guess, into your software. But there is a little something I would like to share, and if I can get the Jay has given me some lessons, so hopefully I can get this on screen. But I'll just do a little tease, because this is something we're looking at building that is similar to what you are asking about. It's going to give us a way to offer a feature like that. But that brings me to pretty much to the end of a lot of the items we wanted to cover today. It's an amazing milestone today that we're starting the test phases. So the biggest news, just to summarize, if you came in late, the big news is test phase 1 is officially starting soon, very, very soon. It could be as little as weeks. We're going to be moving into test phase 2, which means that if you hold a Gemini NFT, a Genesis MASQ NFT from the old days. It's a classic, it's an antique, but it's giving you utility that we promised. You will be able to join the test phase 2 and download. We'll give out installers in a private channel where you're verified by being a wallet holder of the NFT. You can get the installers installed on your machine, join our test network, and help us test it. At that point, the goal is to be 100 nodes minimum of users, or like 100 users, I suppose. Some of our testers will be running probably tens, hundreds, thousands of cloud nodes. So we will find out how big that network actually grows at that point too. But that means that we're going to be moving really quick. And then we'll progress into the next test phases. So if you want to get into testing, you don't have an NFT, you maybe don't want to buy one on OpenSea from crazy people that might try and sell it. I'm not endorsing buying and selling of these NFTs, so it's up to you guys to do what you want. But if you want to get in early and you haven't gotten a whitelist spot by subscribing, go ahead on our Twitter page. We've got to subscribe for early access. On our website, we've also got to subscribe for early access, and we'll be weighting that slightly in the favor of people that have been in our community the longest. And at this point, phase 3 is going to be 100 whitelist spots for using the software. The other thing I will mention before we finish up is that early testers, you have an advantage, because when we go into mainnet, which will be very quickly after we harden all this and test it, if you're an early server on the network, you have an early reputation on the network, and your node has early connections with the mesh on the network as a content server. So if you're early, you have the chance to get more traffic served. It's not guaranteed, but in the concept itself, it will allow you to be an early server, which comes with those benefits of being able to route more traffic for the users. So keep that in mind as well. And then phase 4 and beyond, we'll just be scaling more users in. So don't miss out. If you want to get involved, we've got lots of news ongoing coming out through our email lists. Subscribe to be part of the early access, and that's pretty much the news on the testing. So it's a pretty amazing day. I'll take a few more questions, and then I will finish up, because we've gone just over an hour, which is amazing. Caving1, how is a node ID determined and linked to users? Is it based on wallet ID? Good question. So the node software itself will generate a random node descriptor ID as part of the string. So if you notice, I'll go back to the serving screen. The node ID, and I'll share it again in the chat. The node ID, we've made it in a URI format to designate the network. So first of all, node will know if you're trying to use a node ID that's the wrong network, it'll stop you, so you don't get a failure. But it also lets you share it publicly if you want, and it looks at it. So the first part of the node ID is the network you're connecting to on the blockchain. The second part is a randomized string. I forget the format. I think it's 64-bit, 60 hexadecimal format. It's random, but it's assigned to you each time you initiate your connection to the node network. So the important thing with this is if you disconnect, you do lose your connections in the node neighborhood. You may not be able to get back to it, but also at the moment, the node ID won't be the same. So you are sort of disadvantaged if you have a really bad connection and you get knocked off all the time. If you shut down your computer a lot, if you disconnect, reconnect networks a lot, it will, it does cause you some reputation differences, but we're looking at ways to enhance that. And then the last part of the node ID is your IP and the port. Some of these things will be built to be more private. So the point here that if you're all listening and we're talking about privacy, please don't share your node ID if you're not prepared to have your IP made available online. So if you want to be a server, you don't have to share it. But if you do share it, it becomes public information. So it's just like anything else. Do not share your name and phone number online. Do not share your tax ID, your government ID, your license number, whatever. Anything you don't want in the public domain, do not share it. If you do want to share it, be aware of where you share it and who you share it with. But public nodes run in the cloud are the most safest way to be a server at this time, and we promote that. So if you want to share cloud nodes from AWS, Google Cloud, you'd love to run 5, 10, 15 and share those, go ahead, that's fine. But maybe make sure you're aware of what you're sharing, okay? That's just something I wanted to add some more information to. And one last question, and then I'll make one more little bit of info I want to drop. Crazy XARC, he's asked, is there a pause option for serving, or is it either on or off? Very good question. In the current design, in my mind, I think there would be. You'd kind of just have to like deactivate the DNS settings without turning off the node. And basically it will just halt any connections coming in. We're not sure how that behaves on scale, but it's something we'll probably test, soon. So that is a good question. You might just want to stop serving, like maybe for your bandwidth because you're downloading something, or you've got lots of people on the network, whatever. That's a very good question. We'll table that to discuss in the dev team. So that's a really good question there. Yeah, and again, to reiterate what I said earlier, put it well. Share your IP only if you are in a very safe country and situation. So yes, we don't recommend sharing this publicly at all if you are running from your residential location. If you're just running from your house, we don't recommend doing it. It's up to you to take the right decision, be safe. But the most safest way is to run it on a cloud instance where it's not your home IP address, okay? Yeah, but serving, adjusting anything on serving, like you asked Crazy XARC, if you turn off serving or pause it, it does affect your online reputation, basically how strong your connections are in the mesh network. So we don't recommend doing it. Like, again, what we were saying earlier, your uptime is important, and we'll be designing the network to be more and more smart, to be more and more intelligent with routing. So you don't want anything to affect that. So turning on and off is not recommended, but we can, this setting here, we will further test, but it will give that option to people. Before I disconnect, I might as well show it on screen. You will be given a modal that gives you these warnings. So this is, again, all about user experience. So hats off again to Sui UX, who's put a shitload of thought into all the types of things the user might experience. And whether you know them or not, we're trying to be educational as we build this software together. And I'll make one more comment on that, but I'll just run through. If you have trouble reading the screen, if you click that, even accidentally, it's telling you turning off serving mode will have negative consequences to you in the node on the network. It's going to tell you your node reputation can be affected, you won't earn MASQ, and a bad reputation means you might not get your connections back. It might affect your performance. So keep that in mind. But that leads me to a final comment. A lot of people over the last year or so have been asking for roadmaps. We've used milestones. And a big thing I saw in another community, which I think is important to mention, is we actually we love working without a roadmap, because you know what that means? We can adapt to what the community wants. And some of the features you're seeing right now on screen have come from you, have come from Discord, have come from people asking, man, I really love this. And guess who's seen it? Sui UX, me, one of the devs. And we're like tabling it in our meetings. Like Crazy XRC made a really awesome comment about that feature. Like, why don't we put that in? Because actually he's right. He or she's right. Heaps of people are going to want that. Heaps of people are going to want to see that feature. And in fact, this is what drove us to make a browser built in, because people want it. So if you heard it in the whale tank yesterday, we want to give the Web3 world and the users what they need, but also what they want. Because without that formula, this will not get adoption. So with that, we've gone quite a bit of time. I will hang around a little more in the chat and try and answer some more of your questions on chat. For those on Twitter Spaces, you've been flying blind. Thanks for your participation. Thanks for your support on that space. I'm going to end this now. I'm screenshotting the people who had attended on Twitter Spaces that lasted this long. We're going to send one or two of you something special, and we'll get in touch. So thank you for that. We'll end that now. Thank you, Twitter Spaces. I'll be in Discord if you want to continue. In Discord, we're still live for a few more minutes. So the last thing I wanted to add in, I'm just going to make this like a 1 minute sort of like exit. We are doing more interviews with projects and dApps that we want involved. So if you all really, really, really feel strongly about a project, I want to mention it again. Start spreading the word. We can't do this without you, right? Look at how small we are. Look at how grassroots we are. But look at how disruptive this software is. We need the word to get out. We need you to share the love. Share MASQ. Share the word of MASQ Network everywhere you can. We're going to be public so soon with the software. Everyone that's going to be surprised. The crypto space is going to be blown away. We're going to be surprising everybody. And there's a lot of haters out there that said we couldn't do it. Well, look at what I'm showing you on screen. So for those that were skeptical, we're going to convert everybody. So here we go. The dApp store, the dApp directory. We're going to reach out to projects. So put those words out there. Get the word out to any projects that are in Web3, first of all, but anything you love that you'd love to see on here. We want to hear from you. And the next thing we'll be doing from here, we thank you all for your time on this AMA, but we're going to make an extra effort to get what we're testing out in the open. So we'll soon, I can't promise it in the next week because we're just configuring a few things with the way we're going to do testing and networking and stuff. But we want to showcase the testing in a view-only channel. So keep an eye out for that on Discord, and you'll be able to kind of watch us while we're working through things, taking feedback, testing new stuff, and building out this app. So what you're seeing is actually not even current too. The last thing I want to say, this is only going to get better from here, everybody. We really, really thank you for your time. Hopefully you got loads of alpha, loads of excitement, and loads of passion from watching today. We've gone 80 minutes. We're going to record, save this recording. We're going to post it out there. And if you guys have any questions at all, please jump into our chats. Everyone's super friendly. Thank you to the mods that are in our team. Thank you to the new community manager who's going to help keep everyone civilized, also refine all of the feedback you guys get. And this is our year. The year 2022 is the year of MASQ. So thank you, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, and we'll all chat soon. See ya.